In this video segment, we will learn about the winder and its importance to the needle punch process. The winder is the last step in the overall process of forming a needle punch product. On the winder, the fabric will be rolled up on a core and will be described in terms of fabric weight, width, and length of the material on the roll. It is key to create a roll on the winder that is wound to the correct specifications and with adequate tension and clean edges. On line 2, a dedicated employee is assigned the responsibility of running the winding equipment safely, verifying, and then documenting the customer's specified parameters, producing a tightly wound roll with straight edge quality packaging, wrapping a secure product, and inspecting for any visual quality concerns that would not allow the roll to be shipped as a first quality product. Today we will cover the purpose of the winder employee's responsibility to ensure a successful transition of the fabric from machine to a shippable roll. For every product that is manufactured on line 2, there is a specification provided to the employee that lists the weight, product width, core width, and length expected. The first step is to identify the measurement of the core on the specification and find the core in inventory. Some cores will have to be cut to the specified length and some may already be the exact length. The product spec will provide this information. Once the correct core length or lengths are at hand, identify the spec width of the product. In needle punch nonwovens, we optimize to the largest machine web width possible. In some cases, a single roll width may optimize our available machine width. But in other cases, we could potentially run up to 5 rolls wide and slit the rolls at our rotary or crush cutters to provide the target customer specified width. We have 2 options of cutting depending on the weight of the material. We consider lightweight products to range from 3 to 10 OPSY, or ounces per square yard, and would be assigned to cut on the crush cut system. Heavyweight products range from 11 to 36 OPSY and would be processed through the high-speed rotary cutting system. Blades will be set to specification by using a tape measure and adjusting the cutters to the requested set point and then tightening them into position. Most products are also specified to be trimmed. This means that the edges of the fabric should be trimmed 3 to 4 inches to make sure the edge quality going to the customer is first quality material. Trimming requires additional cutting units to be set up as well. Place the core on the scale and tear out the weight. Tearing the core means that you are subtracting out the weight of the core from the overall weight of the roll. Now place the core or cores on top of the tail of the material just outside the pull and packing rolls. The pull roll is running a speed faster than the line speed to help pull the fabric through the winder. The packing roll, which is known as the taper tension, is running even faster than the pull roll to provide much needed tension to compact the fiber onto the core, which will in turn provide a good tight roll build. Begin wrapping the core with the fabric in a rolling motion towards the middle of the pull and packing rolls. Once the core is secure in place the core inserts in both ends of the core and begin to drop the core guides into place. The guides move up, down, in, out, and should be in position to rest on the core inserts before starting up the winder. The lay-down roller must also move down into place and rest on the core before starting the roll building process. The lay-down roll will aid in keeping the fabric in contact with the pull and packing rolls to make sure there is no slipping while trying to build a tight roll build. Once the cores are positioned correctly, the core inserts in place, the core guides and lay-down roll in position, then set the target length of the roll in linear yards at the control panel, and it will automatically stop and begin the DOF cycle once the length is achieved. You are now ready to build a roll. The rest of the line will already be running while the winder is stopped and the roll changing process is taking place. It is important to be as timely as possible during this roll changing stage because the material is accumulating in the J-box while giving the winder employee time to complete the steps. However, if too much fabric collects in the J-box, it could potentially create trimming or roll build issues, which will make the roll off quality and shut the entire line down. Once the roll reaches the desired set point length, the winder will stop and it will be time to doff or remove the roll from the winder. The first step is to disengage the core guiders and raise the lay-down roll. Then using the doffing bar to push the roll out of the winder and onto the doffing table, which has a built-in scale. The cross-cut blade will then cut the tail across the width of the material, which will detach the roll. Use precaution while the cross-cut blade is in motion. Remove the core inserts and place a new core on the top of the remaining tail of the fabric. Wrap the tail around the core and in a rolling motion towards the middle of the pull and packing rolls. Repeating the same process as the previous roll change, also repeat the steps of position the core guiders and lay down roll, and then start the winder up to begin building material on the core. Now that the next doff is running, it is time to document the weight, width, yards, and diameter of the previous doff and FileMaker. The roll or rolls are already on the scale. Use the overall weight if only one roll, or divide the overall weight by the total number of rolls to get the individual weight of rolls. Then measure the width and diameter of each roll and document separately in FileMaker. All fields that are in the color white must have inputted information. The gray files will auto-populate from your entries. One of the gray field automatic calculations is to convert pounds of the roll to the OPSI, or ounces per square yard, of the roll. Most customers require the weight of the material to be expressed in OPSI form. Verify all measurements are within customer specification range on FileMaker. The system will then ask what roll type. Select First Quality if the roll is to standard length and passes all other parameter requirements. Select First Quality Short Roll if the product is not at the standard length, but it passes all other parameters. Select Non-Conforming if the product does not pass requirements but can be reclaimed. Select Waste if the product does not pass requirements and cannot be reclaimed. Your operator should be notified immediately for any non-conforming or waste rolls. Once all information is documented, select the Print key and the label will automatically be printed. It is now time to shrink wrap the product. Move the rolls from the scale to the wrapper. When applying the shrink wrap, make sure that the product is being wrapped tightly and neatly with several layers of wrap of the body of roll, as well as 5 to 6 inches over the edges of the roll to provide a secure roll. The labels will also be attached onto the wrap on the sides of the roll. The main label is to be on the top middle of the roll, the barcode label on the bottom middle, and the core label on the opposite end inside the core. Lastly, it is very important to look for visible defects while the material is running. It is critical to produce and ship first quality product to our customers. Be alert to identify issues such as needle lines or drag backs, needles, holes, lapper quality issues, neps, contamination, or any other noticeable flaws in the material. Let your operator know immediately if any of these visible defects are identified. This concludes the winder process of producing needle punch felt on line 2 at Global Felt Technologies.
Soundstrap. Soundstrap.